Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we have made the decision to get the new Delicious and Dungeon Hero. So we are going to be picking up Laios. And overall, the reason being, when we start looking at a couple different places in gameplay, he is being used in a couple different formations, not in the traditional sense as a warrior damage dealer, but it seems like he is a pretty strong buffer is what we're seeing. So looking at Lios, looking at Kensuke or Kensu, which is his blade, we're seeing them again in a few formations. It's pretty interesting to see how this hero is being used, because I thought originally that we were not going to see this hero being used, but being used not in conjunction with Marciel, but being used in a formation kind of separately. So I did have a half day today. It is raining and thunderstorming like crazy. So I figured I'd hop on here. I would get the new hero. What's going on, Marwi? Major and Z as well. Like I said, I want to hop in here and I want to pick up this hero. Now, overall, I kind of ran through the skills and abilities this morning, looking at kind of the build. And it's interesting to see how strong and where he really needs to be built at, because when we start looking at the signature item, so this is Kensuke, this is his sword. Now within his sword, it does have a mollusk in there, which is a whole nother part that alerts him to fear. But looking in here, so active ability, normal attack is increased for the level of trust between himself and Kensuke. Each stack of the trust will give the normal attack, increase the normal attack by 20%. This can stack up to 10 times. That is a lot of damage. But like I said, overall, looking at the build, we are not seeing a lot of damage with this hero. Now, each stack of trust right here builds it up a little bit further, so damage goes up a little bit higher. But the big thing is right here, unlocking plus 20. Each stack of trust increases the damage dealt by allied heroes by 5%. This is where the buffer comes in. This is where the buffing ability he possesses is really making a big difference with the damage that we're seeing in formations. And even the current one, which we'll look at in just a minute, we have Zora that is the best in slot damage dealer because of the buff that he is throwing up here, because this can stack up to 10 times, which is kind of crazy for each stack of trust. Now, when you start looking at the 30, just doing a little bit more damage, which again, the plus 30 really doesn't do a lot of damage. But then when you get into the plus 40, this is the part that is kind of crazy, because now trust stacks up to 15 times. Think about this. Each stack of trust increases the damage dealt by allied heroes by 5%, stacking up to 15 times. That is a massive damage increase that we're seeing in formations, which is the reason why we're using him. I even looked at some of the formations, some of the settings, and of course, I don't have the hero at all. We already used the trial version. So unfortunately, we haven't had the ability. So again, making the decision to come in there and pick him up. And I know Atlas right there, can you explain the dimensional exchange this time around? Didn't understand it. So what they did in the dimensional exchange, and I'll show you before we actually pick up the hero. So within the dimensional exchange, they shorten the time that you have to redeem, but with the redemption, in the shorter time of the redemption, you still have a cooldown, but you're going to be able to use the resources. So when we look at the exchange for the dimensional hero, we have a total, and I believe, if I remember correctly, Atlas, it was 21 days for the exchange. So when we go in here, we put all of our resources in. We have 21 days in the exchange. So the way that it's built out right now is after 21 days, you can start the exchange. Once you do the exchange, you're only going to be able to exchange for the 100 diamonds. So once we wait 21 days, you're going to use enough resources. And again, this is kind of my understanding. After obtaining a chest reward, you'll be unlocked over several days. Is once you get to the point, you can go in here and you'll be able to redeem for the currency or redeem for the shards of the hero itself, which means you're going to have to wait these 28 days for him to be used in the entirety. However, you're not going to have to save all of these resources for the total 52 days we've seen traditionally, because they're going to kind of let you redeem it in sections. So in these 15% sections, essentially, that you're going in here, that's kind of my understand, Atlas, is that, again, you're not going to have and be resource capped with everything in the entirety, because you're going to have the ability on different days to buy different pieces of the hero. However, you still have to wait that full, and I believe it was 52 days before you start, 52 or 53 days in its entirety, before you can actually unlock and use the heroes but you're not going to have to sit on the resources the entire time. So again, that's kind of my understanding, is when you get to the point of buying the chest, there is going to be a cooldown when you have it. So when you can get it. So we'll be able to get the chest. Yes. And that's my thought, Atlas. I believe that is exactly how it does work, is you will be able to get the chest, but you will not be able to get the hero until you have all 4 of the chests. So again, you'll be able to redeem it, or you'll be able to go in. So right now you can see we have 12 more days. So on day number 13, you should be able to get this day 1 reward. 7 more days after that, you should be able to buy this one single piece in here. And then you have to wait for essentially getting all of the different pieces before you can actually have the full 60 shards of the dimensional hero to actually redeem for the dimensional hero. Again, that's kind of the way that I understand it. They made it super confusing. Even looking in here, really doesn't seem... The limited exchange will be displayed in the game prior to the event's official start in order to allow players to begin storing currency once the official starts. So this is the 21 days. Players will have 7 days to exchange soul stones using designating currency. During the limited time exchange, players may exchange 60 fragments into the dimensional hero. If a player owns 60 fragments, fewer than 60, the exchange cannot take place. And again, I think this is kind of to counteract building up and being resource capped with Is that wrong, Finn? Because again, that's kind of how it was explained. So in here, so if we can exchange in its entirety, the token chest cap are capped at 10. Yeah, I know the chests are capped at 10. So what they're talking about, what Asta is talking about right there, is these chests are capped at 10, which again, they don't really make sense. So right here, I mean, we have 10 of these. You know what? Let's go ahead and redeem a couple of these. I want some more of these tokens. Let's use this. We'll go ahead and we'll redeem this. And I don't think, again, that we have to wait a certain amount of time, because right now, all of these are going into our item collection. They're all going into our mailbox because we cannot use them, and they're capped at 10. So do we have to save all of the resources? You redeem the chest in 20 days. After the box, you open it on... Oh, so there you go. So after 20 days, so again, you're going to save the resource. So after 20 days, you can buy the entire box and then you redeem it over 28 days. Again, that's... They're trying to do it better, but I don't understand the logic on doing it that way. I guess maybe it's just me. So if we wait, so what Finn is saying, 21 days, we buy the chest. So we get this chest, we get the chest in the entirety. It sits in there. We got it. We bought the chest. They're going to make us wait 28 days once you have the chest. And again, I don't understand how that works, because if you don't get the box till the very, very end because of having and accumulating the resources, are they still going to make you wait 28 days? And is the exchange going to be here because it ends in 19 days? So and that again, kind of, Finn, what I'm thinking, or kind of the logic. So you can redeem the chest in 20 days. So they're giving you the resources to redeem it right here within the next 19. So again, they're not giving us the full 60-day window, which is kind of crazy. From a business POV, they need to do this, or no one will use money to buy the hero. I feel like if they make the hero strong, people will buy the hero. And honestly, we've waited for literally, when we start looking at the dimensional heroes, we have waited for every single other dimensional hero the extended amount of time. So even looking at, our friends list in here, we have waited for all of the heroes in here for the single release, for the double release that are here in the garrison. We've waited for all of these. So the business POV has been the last 6 years, essentially, that we've waited for the double release on all of these in the entirety, waiting a full 53 days. Like I said, it seems like it's such a short amount of window. And if you only have 30 days, so essentially in 19 days, these heroes are going to be gone out of here. And then, of course, once you get to that point, you do have to wait 5 to 6 months. And I don't know if this is going to change with the garrison as well, is going in here and being able to actually garrison. So let's say, for instance, you do not get either of the Delicious and Dungeon heroes, and then you have to go in here and get them out of the garrison. I don't know if it's still going to be the 5 to 6 month waiting time for the heroes to be within the garrison itself. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. but I feel like that's a pretty small ramp up time. I know they're giving us some resources within the dimensional sign-in to get the heroes within the shortened window. So within essentially that 30-day period that we had to get the hero with the resources they're providing. Then you still have to wait 28 days. So again, it's kind of crazy. Out of topic, but is it necessary to play a new account every time you return to the game because you just continue with your old account? Just keep with the old account, Z. And honestly, that's what a majority of players do, is just staying with the other account. So which one is stronger of the two? So Monster, looking at them right now, Marciel has been in formations as the best in slot damage dealer. So that was kind of the interesting one, is we have seen Marciel as a best in slot damage dealer and looking at some of these formations, but we've also seen Laios in a few formations. And honestly, between both of them, like right there is Lios, guys. When we look at Lios being built, it's interesting because it's still very, very early. That is something to definitely know which is going to be, and again, depending on where these heroes are showing, because right here is Lios. Looking at the battle stats, like I said, even though the signature item ups his damage, ups, a lot of different things, he really doesn't do any damage at all. And I don't see him as the best in slot damage dealer, but Marciel is within a few formations. Some of these iterations, and I don't know, again, what it's going to look like, because remember, these are brand new heroes. These heroes have been out, about 10 days now, 7-10 days. And also keep in mind that within the heroes, they kind of fill two different roles, where Marciel is very, very heavy burst damage, and some of the other heroes is not. Lios is not. Lios plays more of like a support hero instead of being a really big damage dealer. And we also haven't been through all of the iterations for all of the bosses. When we start looking at these different game modes, right there is Marciel, again, as a best in slot damage dealer, and looking at 44 billion damage in here. But you'll also notice that Lios is in here as well. So they are both being run in here, and that is with no collection at all, just based on, look at both of these, which are just the basic version, which is the trial version of both of these. Again, still doing incredibly well in some formations, and again, burst damage with Marciel, but Lios is being used in a couple places. Yeah, most buffer we can give crit damage amplification is Palmer 2.0. What's going on, Soul? Why does it seem like Leica fell out of the meta so quick? So Leica is one, and again, it's still kind of meta, and if you looked at the tier list, she did come down to the SS tier. The reason being, Leica is very unique in what she does. So overall, it seems like her damage didn't stay up with everything else. It is really my thought. She did damage, and really upon release, we've seen a lot of damage. Now it seems like Envy. Now it seems with a couple newer heroes that we have seen a lot higher damage dealers, and she's very unique in the skills and abilities that she has. Even the start of the battle doing damage. It doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like the damage is there, but it also seems like the power creep for her came up very fast, because even then, a lot of players were just more focused on how she entered battle, the delay that was going into battle, the protection of the frontline heroes. They didn't make her a pure damage dealer like what we see with Envy. It was more of a continuous damage dealer, which looking here, and that isn't a huge role that we see like within the Cursed Realm, or excuse me, the Nightmare Corridor, because it is about burst damage and burst damage only at that point. Yeah, like a damage a little low. Yeah, she buffs. Again, that's kind of what we're seeing, that her damage, again, out of the gate upon release was pretty solid damage. Right now, it's not comparable to what we're seeing with all of the other ones. And we also know, guys, the primary 4 factions, we are getting 4 more Awakened heroes this year, which means we have a lot more that are coming. We have a lot more that are coming down the pipeline. We have a lot more heroes that are going to be coming. Now, we did buy this, and this is going to be at a discounted. I put a gift card in here, so I think we have enough to pick up the hero. There we go. Let's see if this pops up with our gift card, which it does. And we're going to pick up Laios. Like I said, I wasn't going to buy him, but you know what? We have bought literally every single hero that we've kind of gotten. So we'll pick up Laios there. There we have him. We'll build him up a little bit. Got to get some dimensional gear. Now, overall, dimensional gear on the heroes doesn't have a huge impact when you start looking at the levels, when you start looking at a lot of other things, especially having the heroes built. But looking in the store in general, the guild store is the only place you get your dimensional gear. So in here is all of the dimensional gear, which you see right down here. This is our leather armor dimensional. Again, I personally, and I don't know how Finn feels, but honestly, in here is I would prioritize getting your insignias, getting your time emblems, building Eugene in Hildwyn before I would focus on building out the dimensional gear. I would keep them, and just like we have with Marciel, keeping them with the tier 3 gear, essentially going up to the tier 4 gear. I don't feel like it's enough of a change or enough of really a carry going up that much higher. I don't feel like overall, in my opinion, guys, it's not worth it to focus on buying out and getting all of the dimensional gear versus having the heroes built and having the heroes themselves. There's going to be a point where you get Eugene built like we have right here to 5 stars. There's going to be a point where we get Hildwyn built in the entirety, which then we can focus right back on dimensional gear. But again, my opinion is equipping the gear, going ahead and resonating this, having all the tier 3 gear is good enough. Maybe Marciel, I might build up a little bit further or try to get some gear for Marciel, just for the simple fact that as a damage dealer, that could make a really big difference in here, being able to max out a little bit of gear. And I'm almost wondering if any of my dimensional heroes are sitting on gear that we do not have. Even here, Shuna has a lot of gear in here. Amelia that we don't have tier 4. So there's Marciel. Rimuru, again, has a lot of dimensional gear. Yennefer. So we've gotten gear, and this was long before we had Eugene and Hildwyn in there, before we had the insignias. This is the tier 3 gear. Again, a lot of these, well, all of these not really used anymore. Even Baba Yaga, yeah, nothing in there. Will you try Companions? So I've played Companions. I've been in Companions since the release. We can hop over in a little bit and check it out. In here, we do have a new code. Let me grab the code. There is a new code, guys, that did come out for AFK Arena. If you didn't check it out, if you didn't get it, let me see where the new code is. Let me drop this in chat so we can actually use it. If you haven't used it, there we go. So that is the new code. So that code actually yielded us 10 scrolls. It gave us a couple more resources, so not too big. Now, I also did get my 2 VIP codes, which you'll see right here. I've already redeemed. I've already used both the VIP codes, but this one did give us 10 of our Stargazer scrolls and then 60 of our shards. Then it did give us a couple more resources in here. Those are out of the VIP codes. A lot of players wonder what the VIP codes give us. Those 2 were the VIP codes. These 2 were the VIP 14 VIP codes, which we got out of there. Yeah, that's the new, and I think it was International Labor Day. I think that's what it said, Soul, but that is another one. Would you consider doing account reviews? Soulage, I would. You know what? I would. And I'm really cautious about it because to do an account review, I have to have access to the account to get in there to kind of go through everything. If players are not comfortable giving access, having someone else log into their account, and for some, it's an absolute just pain in the butt to do, trying to get in through Google Play, trying to get in through everything else. And you know what? In here, I'm going to grab some more of these tokens. So another 24K right there. And the reason being, I want to buy some more stuff out of the Arcane Labyrinth or out of the shop down here within the Labyrinth store. Because in here now, of course, these top heroes need to be updated. Even the chests, guys, all of these chests are pretty much garbage when it comes to resources. This is one that I would recommend building or would recommend buying, knowing that the South Zone is coming out for AFK Arena. It's coming out in the Ghoulish Gallery. And then the rest of these, I've been buying my Elemental Cores. I've been buying red chests. We've been buying everything else that we need in here, including Wukong. So as we continue to get those dimensional chests, because we already have both of those heroes, we're not going to need them anymore. We can pick up more red chests and we can build them out in their entirety. Now, looking at Lios, let's drop them at the inn. We have 16,000 Pokecoins. Let's go ahead and build this out. Now, I believe my dimensionals are in, is it B7? Yep, so there's Marciel. So we'll put Lios in here. We will go ahead and add him in there. See if we can equip some furniture, which I believe we do have quite a bit of furniture in there. We're saving diamonds. We're saving pretty much our time emblems. We're saving our Stargazer scrolls to see what is coming down with the next heroes. Because again, it's going to be pretty soon that we're going to see another awakened hero. What's going on, Revia? So 16,000 Poke Coins. Now we have, again, we already have Mira in here. We have Laios in here. We do have Marciel. Lysander is in here as well. I know that's a name that I usually always forget. Let's go ahead and drop them in the bottom. We'll optimize all these. 16,000. Hopefully we can pull one or two more mythic cards out of here. There is one for Scion. Now Scion, of course, a lot of formation, still a best in slot damage dealer. That's the reason why we go over the 9 of 9 furniture. Same with Zora. Again, any of the heroes within here that are the larger damage dealing heroes, we're trying to build out, and we're trying to upgrade them a lot. We're trying to max out all of this furniture. That is already maxed, so we'll go ahead. We will upgrade this one, and then the exact same for Scion. Already have, and we're building out this top one. Again, being able to kind of min-max, being able to kind of be a lot more competitive in a couple different game modes makes a big difference. It really does make a big difference. Now in here again, because we know Marciel is a damage dealer, I'm going to build her out first, and then we can go on and we can build up Lios a little bit further. But let's go ahead, we'll equip this one, and then we'll recycle everything we're not using. Might give us enough for a summon. Now, when it comes to Poke Coins, you will use them forever. There's never going to be a point of AFK Arena where you have all the furniture, where you have enough pretty much for everything, unless you're a very, very big whale. Having everything in its entirety is kind of crazy. Even looking here, guys, we've used all of our chests, but let's hop over and build out this signature item. So we got, again, a couple pieces of furniture. We have 12,000 of our primordial emblems, which again, we're going to max those out. We have 8,000 of those amplifying emblems. And then red chests, we have 1,452 red chests. Now, similar to what we did when it came to Marciel, we're going to build this up one single chest right there. Then we're going to use the red chest. We are going to go all the way up to 38. Is where we do want to build this hero up to. We're going to go for a plus 40 as well. Space emblems, we accumulate kind of whenever we can. So right there is our 38. And then the final two are going to be right here used with our insignias, another 200, taking him to a 40. So there we go. What's going on? The Cow Official Gaming. So there is the plus 40. Now, if you looked in formation, they were running Zolras formation or Zolras collection in here. I do not have very powerful collections. Again, it's a game mode that I avoided for an incredible amount of time. I avoided it in its entirety. Got to the point where I really went in and just kind of sucked it up when it comes to building out and making progression within the Ghoulish gallery, because I know how important these collections are. Right now, I am saving everything, and I really do advise you to do the exact same, is going in here, saving everything, because we know the 3 new collections, again, with that South Zone are coming pretty soon. It should be up, the patch should be up on Monday, and then the global release should be up on Tuesday, if not a little bit sooner. But that way we can go in here and we can actually build these out a little bit further and pick up a ton of arcane staffs. Now with the South Zone being introduced, we are getting 3 new collections, which I believe it was Isolde, Anoki, and Thane were the 3 new collections. In addition, there was also 2 slots for 2 additional collections that will be coming in the future. So again, kind of remembering that. Now, Lost Spire, I didn't have the ability to do today. So I want to hop in. I want to finish this, guys. If you got questions, absolutely just drop them in chat. Can you swap Awakened heroes with the normal ones? No, Z, you cannot. In there, it is normal heroes for normal heroes. It is Celestials and Hypos for Celestials and Hypos. And you'll see when we go in here. And then I don't think you can. No, see, none of the normal ones are in there. I don't know why you would want to swap an Awaken with a normal one. You can swap Awaken to Awaken, Celestial or Hypo to other one. Hope you're doing good. Will you make a signature item tier list in the near future? I can, Light. I can put something together for the signature item tier list. Yeah, based on the build, based on the heroes, based on where we need. Yeah, I definitely can. And the easiest way I found to do that is listing kind of each signature item, each level, and then kind of dropping the heroes in there. Yeah, I can put something together. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we can. And even a lot of heroes, I feel like I should probably go through even, I'm kind of spitballing like tier list wise, is probably like the top 3 tiers or the top 4 tiers. Because a lot of heroes, guys, when you start getting down into even here, let's say these bottom 3 rows, not really recommended to build really any of them. And you'll notice even like these bottom, almost these bottom 4 really don't have any plus 30 signature items on any of these heroes. And there's a point where even newer heroes, maybe even to save some time, might just go ahead and eliminate all of the very basic heroes that you shouldn't be building anyways. I've never done a Ghoulish gallery. Any suggestion or video to explain the best things to do in there? Yes, Reva. So if you go down to the guide section of the YouTube channel, there's a lot. There are a lot of different guides that are out there. There's a lot of different ways. Essentially, when you start looking at some of the most useful collections in here, Athalia's collection is super, super effective. Oden's collection, Rowan's collection are pretty much the 3. But looking like Tassie's collection is very strong within the PvP aspect. Mahira's collection is one, again, kind of the PvP, but also used for that level 2 Mahira collection. The rest of them kind of here or there. I feel like those are kind of the big ones to really build out. There's, again, with the Ghoulish Gallery, there's videos when it was introduced, and I believe the Ghoulish Gallery is already about a year old. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think the Ghoulish Gallery is already about a year old. So all you have to do, though, is you go in, you pick which collection you're going to build, you pick which Bazaar totem you want to use. Now, for a majority of the Bazaar totems, when you go in here and when you look at the ability to combine them, most of the blue ones, and this is kind of the recommendation from a lot of different players, is using all of your blue ones to get some of the elite totems, and then using these elite totems to build up and have more of the mythic totems, because the mythic totems give you a very, very good return. The only one that they actually keep is the level, which again, we could get rid of some of these, but going in here and getting one of these, look at that. We got a free farewell gift out of there, guys. That is the reason why players have said going and making this and building this out in its entirety. You'll also get some recasting elixir, but this is what we're looking for when it comes to building these, because when you have the legendary totems, when you have the ability to get the legendary totems, they are the only ones that provide you and give you these cards. That is the reason why so many people say, build them all, move all of your rares to the epic to the legendary, use all of the legendary, is because you get these cards. You get these free cards on a regular basis. This is going to give you the ability to pick what you want to use. So if I'm going in here and I want to build, let's say, a red defense, I want a mythic defense in here, I can use my defense scroll and I can pick which ability I want in there. And also this, if you're using a farewell gift totem while exploring, its effect will not take up a number of guaranteed mythic abilities, unlocks after 120 totems. But even looking at level 3, guaranteed 3 mythic abilities. Now remember, with the mythic abilities in the Ghoulish Gallery, you have to have 3 mythic abilities or you cannot recast it. That is the requirement. And again, a lot of players do forget this. When it comes to the bag, when it comes to collections, if you do not have 3 mythic abilities in here, you cannot recast it. So let's go down to like a 1. When we go to modified, you cannot recast because it does not have 3 mythic abilities. That is the reason why I say, going in here, getting those legendary totems, using and building this out to the mythic abilities, it is really what you're looking for. 3 guaranteed mythic abilities. If you're lucky on some of the pulls, you could get 4, you could get 5. I believe when I did my Rowan run with 3 totems, we did get, and I believe it was 5 or 6. Because I know here we got really, really lucky. Again, we got the Rowan ability or the Trader's Vault with the +2 skill, which is absolutely required. A lot of full attack in here, a lot of full defense. And then looking in here, I haven't recasted anything in here. This is the collection that we got. What's going on, Quaden? I know that I told you Sunday was going to be the stream, and here we are. I was coming home. I was going to do the grass. I had a lot of things to do, and unfortunately, it's pouring down rain. We have thunder showers here. We have a lot. Yeah, bro lied to me. What is going on, Carol, as well? Also, I know you said to get baits in your videos from the events. Would you recommend getting baits from the choice chest? Honestly, Light, the thing with baits is, and this is the way that I view it, this is the way that I've kind of seen it, is when it comes to getting baits for the for all of your beasts, there is going to be a point, and I know it is a long way off for a majority of players, that when it comes to building out beast, Light, there is a point where you're done. Once you get your beast to level 18, you are done forever. You can go back, you can do everything. There are so many things you can do. Once you get to the point of farming up baits that you have beasts up to this resonant level 18, you're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. They're built every new release, including the very cool treasure one that we're getting. You will get at level 18. It will be maxed out. You will get the animated avatar. That is the goal, getting this to 18. And I feel like getting this to 18, because there's a point where if you're looking at elemental cores, if you're looking at red chests, everything that you're looking, you're going to need forever. There is not going to be a point through all of AFK Arena that we don't have a need for elemental cores, that we don't have a need for red chests. All of those are going to be used and are always going to be used in their entirety. This is the reason why I say when you're going in here, when you're building out heroes, once you get the bait, you are done with it. I know is absolute pain in the butt that it is. Once you have the baits, once that is done, it is done in its entirety. That's all you got to worry about. There will be a point, and again, I know for some players, it was a lot of time to get the baits. When you get them, it is done. What's going on, Thomas? That one has elixir in it, though. Has elixir. Oh, did I use elixir in it? I was wondering because so far, all of the collections that we built, all of the recasting elixir, all of everything that we did. So there is recasting in here. Which one did I do? Because see, they glow a different. I'll show you in a minute. They glow different. So I might have redone one of these full attacks in here because I know the levels you can't redo in there. They are stuck. So it might have been one of these that I recasted because the other one that I recasted was Athalia's. Now I have recasted this one. I have recasted Athalia's with the physical peers. As you can see, both of these glowing. That is all the recasting elixir that we have gotten. It's insane how expensive they are. Soul Slayer, guess who's back? What is going on? Yeah, so Moxie, that one might have had, and I don't want to click reset because I don't know if it literally just goes in there and resets it. I don't want to click it. I'm concerned because some things, like when I click restore here, it might change some of these abilities. I do not want to change it. But even when you look at recasting ability, the cost is expensive. Guys, 400 to go from a legendary ability to a mythic ability. It is 400 to level up a mythic ability is 500 recasting elixir. They could make that stuff a lot cheaper in its entirety, which would be kind of crazy. If you press restore, let me see it, Moxie. If I do this and it messes it up, I am blaming Moxie in the entirety. Yeah, what did we build in here? What did we restore? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we had right here, this is the original. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when we did it originally, it gave us 6. So remember, we get 3 guaranteed for free, building this out with 3 of our totems. So we started that one with 6 mythic abilities. And then it looks like we made one of these. It looks like probably one right here. So we had a legendary ability right here, full attack. We made that full attack up to a mythic full attack, and that's it. So we don't want to click restore. So we leveled up one single level in here. So again, it started with 6 in here. We went to 7 by leveling up this one full attack into a mythic full attack. So yeah, so we got 6 out of there, which is pretty good. Don't do it. Save for the new ones. Yeah, I'm saving everything for the new ones. Absolutely. I also want to get more of these. Again, we talk about so many things that are problems with, with going in here and how incredibly difficult it is to get the elixir to reduce the RNG for the Ghoulish gallery. They could also make these a lot more achievable, could make it a lot easier with cheaper elixir to go ahead and buy those, or even these very, very basic ones. If we had the ability to sell these, not for diamonds, but if we had the ability to sell these again for a little bit of recasting elixir, it would make a big difference. Yeah, it's too expensive. It is so very, very expensive to do. I just don't get it. 50 legendary totems for 500 elixir. Yeah, 50 legendary totems. Button, that's crazy. When you think of 50 totems that we're talking about in here, when we look at this right here, so looking at the totems that we have, what do we have? I mean, we have 4, 5, there's 10, 12, 16, 18, 20, maybe 25. So we haven't used any of these in weeks, probably even 2, maybe more than 2 months in its entirety, which is crazy because we only have about 25. So if you're talking 50 bizarre totems or 50 legendary bizarre totems to actually get the recasting elixir to be able to use them, that is stupid expensive. Even here, guys, they give us 10. It costs 500 to level up or 400 to level up a legendary, legendary ability. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy on how it is. Arcane Labyrinth says it's under development. So the Arcane Labyrinth Atlas, you are on Companions. So if you're on Companions, you do not have the ability to go ahead. The Arcane Labyrinth does not exist on Companions. And I almost feel like if honestly, most of Companions, it seems like it's stalled out a lot. I've really noticed that Companions, when it comes to the new events, when it comes to updates, when it comes to everything over on Companions, it seems like it has really, really kind of fallen off with the progression. They haven't made really any new content for it. Even the event that is going on in Companions, unfortunately, that is the one they're bringing here. There's not a ton to do with it. They're already releasing, and they've already talked about season 2, which let's hop over to Companions, guys. Let me show you kind of what I'm talking about. So over on Companions, this is the event that's coming over to AFK Arena. New server that doesn't exist in Companions. It is wrong. You go all the way. It says you need to locate the labyrinth before unlocking it. Yeah, if you're not far enough in the game Atlas Cooking, you might not have it, or if you're in Companions. Can I make a guide for Treasure Scramble? We can do a guide. So over here, again, looking at the Dimensional Heroes on this side, it's interesting to see that they release them, both on both sides. But looking at what we have on the Companion server, 169 days that we've been playing this, that we've logged on kind of a regular basis. Let's pick up these chests. I like how we get the chests. You can level them up just by clicking. If you have kind of the random RNG to get higher level chests. But looking at the events in here, this is, and it might already be done. It is already done. The event ended. So over here again, we have the Floral Gifts, which we just seen. That is up on the global servers, or might be up. Spire Contest, again, these are some things that it's okay to do, but overall, it's not. This is a guild event that when you go through and you do the attacks, you have the ability to get this chest. You can get more resources. You can wish for more summons. You know what? Let's get some resources in here. And there we go. So resource-wise, they gave us some, not really too much. So this is already done with the Spire Contest. And then, like I said, there's a lot of things in here that I feel like they could have made better. They really could. What's going on, yo? Nox 41st is a priority. You have no reason to SI Nox first. Who are we looking at? Nox first. I just got 1 star Awakened to Thalia. Should I upgrade her SI to 40 or get Amelia and build her to 30? I wouldn't build out Amelia. Amelia, I don't even have on my account. I don't have Amelia. How much money did we spend on the main account? I believe Z, and again, looking last time, I believe it was around 17K. I think over 6 years, we spent around 17,000 was the number. I believe that was the number. But over here, I mean, like I said earlier, it's interesting to see that they haven't even added, and I mean, like here, So when we started on the companion server, we had the awakened version of Solus, and then we got the awakened version of Taylene, and then we got nobody. Yeah, I think it was 17K again, doing the math of where we're at. I think it was around 17K. Is Misha 60 worthy? I would say Misha, I believe is. I think is very good. Waken Athalia without the SI 4060. Yeah, Finn, damage. There is such a thing to be said, and I know a lot of players say, I say it all the time. When it comes to damage dealers, you have to have them built up. It is something that is very important. When you look at damage dealers, you have to have them built up. The higher that you build them up, the more stats you're adding to them, the better they're going to perform. That is the big thing. Is if you're going, if you're building them up, it is very important that you put stats behind them. Now, team up note, D2 is still here, and I haven't heard from D2 in a while. This is a surprise chest. It does give us a copy right there you've seen of Crescio, and then it does give us also some additional resources in here. Let me hop in and do some summons. But over here, like I had said earlier, I feel like they need to update a lot more things, and I don't know what's going on with the dev team. I don't know if they're, you know, planning to release everything over here on Companions before they bring it to Classic. What are we going to see new in Classic? Because I know there's a couple different things that players have been talking about with the guild bosses and stuff, and it almost seems kind of similar to what we see here. And I don't know kind of the comparison of the guild bosses, like the next boss in here. We do have Risen here. We have a few different ones, and it seems like this is almost the methodology with how they're doing the guild boss when it comes to the Classic server. It seems like it is kind of imperative. The most rare upgrade you need to be careful. Sorry, you meant Mishka. Oh, Mishka, not Misha. Yeah, some of them, and I don't know why, Finn, they have them that are so similar in name. It is so confusing when we talk about a lot of the different heroes because they have very, very similar names. So in here, it does give us some resources. Unfortunately, I don't think you can get mythic gear in here. And the big thing that we miss on Companions is EXP. So even looking here for where we're at right now with the heroes wise, and it's kind of crazy because when you look at Essence, guys, 303,000 hero Essence. You talk about how absolute crazy it is and how difficult it is to get hero Essence on the Classic server. Here, 303,000 hero Essence, but where we struggle over on Companions is getting the experience. Even here, we're out of experience, and we're always out of experience. Even all of these are at 341. We are always completely and utterly out of experience on the Companion server, even farming it up everywhere that we can. We're out of experience 24/7. It kind of stinks, but yeah, we're completely out of experience, and it never ends. Now over here as well, diamonds a little bit more difficult to get. But when it comes to resource generation, when it comes to building everything over on Companions, you have to have the red chest with diamonds, the primordial and the amplifying chest, or excuse me, the primordial and the amplifying emblems you have to buy with diamonds. The arena store, this is another place where just looking for red chests and red chests only. Guild store, tier stones, barracks, you're looking for these stones, and that's it. It is a very basic version of AFK Arena. That's the way that I've kind of always poised it, is it is a very basic version of AFK Arena over here when it comes to building these out. Even looking here, we don't have enough summons to do really anything. 63 regular summons. We're also trying to get 25 5-star heroes. That has been the goal since we started. That is going to allow you to actually transcend heroes over here. And who do we get, guys? It is Tricia. Tricia over here has a huge impact just because of the skills and abilities, but overall, getting those 5 or 25 5-star heroes is kind of crazy. It's incredibly difficult to get to transcended heroes, and it just takes a crazy, stupid amount of time, honestly. Whoa. Shuna, Rimuru, and Amelia. Amelia can treasure scramble Nightmare Corridor. Is Yukio decent? No, unfortunately, Soul, Yukio is not decent at all. As much as I know a lot of players love and want to bring Yukio back and started petitions for Yukio. Same with the Awakened version of Walker, kind of seeing how that looks and where that's really not going anywhere either. But overall, like I said, the Companions is just kind of a cheap version of what we see within AFK Arena. The Alliance contest is okay, but again, everything else in here, even looking delicious in Dungeon, is done. There's not a lot to do. The Battle Pass I do like, but I don't like, again, that they have this whole pay to win or this whole purchase side of the Battle Pass. Very similar to what they have to most parts of AFK Arena, is buying and being able to purchase a lot of things. Really is about making progression a lot faster. Trishia and Companions, yeah, that was, I believe, the last one. I believe that was the one 2 weeks ago before we seen all the Dimensionals. Albedo take away 30 red boxes for me and never found one use in my account. Albedo was once upon a time, Finn. So Albedo was good, and Albedo was good when Ainz was good. They revamped both of them when we actually had the ability to go in. When Sheltier was re-released, Albedo and Ainz did get a rework. Unfortunately, on the Classic server, it did absolutely suck for the rework. Even when we released the plus 40 signature items, a lot of players thought this would have a really big impact. It did not, and it did not at all. Again, even with the buff to Albedo, not enough to make a difference and really make a big difference in any avenue. It was kind of sad to see. Let me hop in 70-60. You know what? I'm going to auto run this while we answer some questions. Want to see if we can finish out 70. Want to see if we can get into 71. Yeah, without the SI30. And even now, I feel like, Finn, we've gotten so many additional heroes, and we're also going to be getting so many additional heroes in there. I probably wouldn't build Albedo. I probably wouldn't. Same with Queen. I feel like the crowd control aspect, it's to the point where, again, when you start looking at some of the older heroes, I feel like there's not going to be any use for a lot of the content or a lot of the older heroes. I'm finally 1 beast shy of resonating level 18 free to play. Didn't push beast at the end, so I'm a little behind. Once you get it, Philip, like we said a little bit earlier, when beast resonance 18 is done, it is done. You can cross it off the list forever until they bring out a higher beast resonance. But once you're at 18, that's it. It's done. What's going on, Kookie? How are you? I'm going to do a live stream tonight, guys, over on the financial channel. I'm going to set it up here in a minute. So if you want to hop on a little bit later, Kookie, probably around 9 p.m. After I put the kids together, I've been wanting to do some streaming over on the financial channel, and I'm thinking of doing it twice a week is what I want to do because unfortunately at this point, we are no longer playing Raid. I played Raid Shadow Legends for about 2 months. Liked a lot of the content, liked a lot of the different things in there, but overall, it's a very, very big time consumption. So yeah, Raid, again, as much as I liked it, it was kind of short-lived, but definitely. Would it lag in Companions if they added 10 heroes in a single formation? Yeah, probably. Guys, the formations in here, for a majority of players right now, you cannot tell what is going on. Where are you at, Hippo? Watched for years from the UK. So I'm in Detroit. I am just north of Detroit, Thomas, in Michigan. We're about 45 minutes. We're about 45 minutes from Canada. Canada is right to our east from where we're located. So yeah, I'm over here in Michigan, and everybody says on occasion that I have a very odd and very unique accent of the pronunciation of words. It's the blend of Michigan, and I know we pronounce words pretty unique, but also the Canadian blend in a few different places. Ezio is mid, just one formation. I don't even know if Ezio is used anymore. Ezio, Leica, Demia, Rem. Again, I think that's some of them. Pet system needs a rework. Yeah, I know, and that's my thought, Finn, is there's nothing after 18. And unfortunately, it seems like that is just going to be another part in the long part of AFK Arena that is not really used. Oh, Queen was used in this formation in the Cursed Realm. I usually go in there, I auto formation it. Again, that's kind of, and even looking at some of the heroes that we have. And the big ones that I've noticed is when it comes to the Draconic heroes, guys, I am falling so far behind with Draconic heroes and the Highborn Draconic heroes at this point. We have 2, and then we have the free one. So we have Gwen, which we put a lot of money in to finish out Gwen earlier. We have Lan, and then we have Hildwyn, and that's it. I only have, I think, 140, 160 cards right now to fully build up 1-star Draconic hero, roughly around 600 insignias, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, 81 days, just hit chapter 40. It's crazy. London, if you look, it is crazy. Yeah, pets sucking companions too. Companions is a whole nother level, in my opinion, Thomas, of how bad the pets suck. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. They just did the Guild Boss update every 5 or 6 years. I think the Beast update will come, yeah, in about 3 years. Yeah, that's about it. I don't even know if they'll update it. And again, there are so many different things in here that they could update. They could choose to update. But for a lot of places, they don't. And I honestly do not think they will. That they might just leave it. And there we go, guys. The RNG factor that we have, of course, with Mahira in there is a lot more RNG than I really feel with the Thorin Cheese. Now in here, guys, we still do have that awakened version of Athalia. We have Shuna in here. So a very strong team, a lot of big burst damage. And then, of course, Misha is in here. Again, another one. It feels like we might not get through this one. This is going to be a reset, but I'm okay. Took 1 day to get through chapter 31. That's what a lot of players have been saying, where depending on how lucky you get early game, being able to go through 31 chapters in 1 day. And honestly, when we start looking at those 31 chapters, they need to add relevant heroes. Guys, they still have the very basic, they still have the super basic rewards for a majority of the content, which again is pretty sad to see, because if they added in a couple relevant heroes, I feel like a new experience as a new, really as a newer player to AFK Arena really makes a big difference with heroes that you actually use. So if you're going through, you're getting Chimera, you're getting Kaz, you're getting Laika, you're getting, you're getting Cirrus, you're getting just all of these heroes that are not on wish list, all of these heroes that are not meta by any means, and just kind of getting stuck with them from the beginning. It does kind of suck. Please don't add relevant heroes. Yes, we want relevant heroes. Imagine renting collection. That would be kind of weird. So my thought, and guys, my biggest idea or something that I think would be awesome is having the collections, and let me run this by you, see what you guys think, is having the collections very similar to heroes. That is it. Just having where you have one collection that you're continuously upgrading, you're continuously improving within the collection itself. So you're making it better. You're getting more recasting elixir. You're building out some of the different skills, some of the stats, and then you have the ability to equip it on a multitude of heroes instead of, having 80 different collections like we do right now. Just have, one of each different collection, and being able to continuously run the Ghoulish Gallery. When you're running through the Ghoulish Gallery, it is giving you recasting elixir, or if you select, let's say, a specific collection, you have the ability to change maybe one stat, maybe level up a stat, but all of the collections start off kind of basic, very basic collections that you start with, and running the Ghoulish Gallery multiple times, just like the Arcane Labyrinth, just like a couple other game modes, you continuously gain experience to level up the collection itself versus the system we have here. They couldn't monetize it as much. Well, they could. They absolutely could, where if you wanted to buy stuff to level it up faster, if you wanted to buy the recasting elixir, if you wanted to buy all of the regular BS that they throw in there, you absolutely could. You absolutely could. But again, it would give the ability for a lot of free-to-play players to have more access to the collection, even lowering some of the RNG. And the idea really came when, I was playing Raid and thinking about it and going in and saying, everything is pointed towards progression. So that's where I feel like, the sticking point for a lot of different players was all of the points in the game itself are pushing towards progression, are giving you resources towards progression, where I could go in there, I could run the Ghoulish gallery and I could spend a lot of time. I could go in there and run the collections, you know, put in my totems and get a total garbage collection just to throw it away. Do it again, throw it away because of crappy RNG. Do it a third time, fourth time, seventh time, 20th time, whatever. Not getting crap out of the Ghoulish gallery, throwing everything away that we get in the Ghoulish gallery. You know what? Even if they gave us recasting elixir for every time you run the Ghoulish gallery, let's say when you run through the Ghoulish gallery, they give us 10 recasting elixir for completing the Ghoulish gallery. If I could get 70 recasting elixir every single month, or you know what? Even give us arcane staffs. So every time you run the Ghoulish gallery, at the end of your run, they give you a certain amount of staffs. Those staffs are going to be able to feed you totems, and then going in there and again, making a big difference. It would be an absolute game-changing difference if we had the ability to go through there. Got super lucky with the 5 Mythic Erosion Aurelia collection with +2. Yeah, that is broken. Again, I feel like a lot of the RNG, and I'm hoping on this South collection, they eliminated or really removed a lot of them. That is crazy. Is that's possible? 5 Mythic Erosion Aurelia with the +2. I got a 6. I don't know what she used in there. It might have been some cards that were used in there as well. Hippo got, yeah, I got a 6 Mythic, which was the one we just seen that was in there with the +2. But 2 of the 6 were Mythic, so I only got 4 technically. But again, if you went in there and used some cards, I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it being built out and working incredibly well. I don't even know how long we've been streaming, guys. I didn't really pay attention to when we started. Again, I got home a little bit earlier. Wanted to hop on, wanted to see if possibly we could go through here and we could finish some of this out. Let me make sure we do the gifting and the membership. I do not want to miss this. I love doing the gifting every single time. It's cool to see the little hippos in there right next to the individual's name. And it goes out to HMG. So almost like the FHG. So HMG, congratulations on the gifting of the membership. And I don't know, I think it's going to be some RNG in here. And a lot of times, Aethys needs a little bit more, which I think we're going to get this one done. If we can keep Athalia alive in this one, we maybe. Aethys tanking is crazy. There we go. So we got that one done. I think we have one stage, guys. I think this is the very last stage to finish out 70-60. And of course, it's the Chimera stage. Shell tier being used in campaigns. And look, Nara. Guys, Nara just pulled over into Misu. Boom, getting a little bit of love for Nara here in the bottom. Nara used to be a monster. If you guys are old school AFK Arena players, Nara was super broken, and Nara was the one and only that was the counter to Brutus's shield. That is the reason why, in my opinion, guys, that Nara was actually built. Nara was the absolute dominator, the absolute killer when it came to Brutus's shield. And there we go, guys. We did it, and we did it on the stream. Chapter 70 is complete. So we are done with this one in the entirety. Let's see what Chapter 71 looks like and what Chapter 71 does bring. Next chapter right into 71. Let's see what it looks like. So the Tides of Eternity. Let's hop in and see what this one is looking at or what this one looks like. And I know it's kind of weird in BlueStacks. It pops it up a lot of times when we do go. And there we go. So we have, it looks like some little palaces down here and a palace up here. So yep, we are into Chapter 71. Look at this. 30 epic emblem chests, 20 red chests. Absolutely, I will take that. We get some tier stones, tier 3, tier 4. And there we go into our next chapter. So we are into 71. And I believe right now, what is it, 78? I think it's around 78, which is the highest chapter we have here. 74? Is it only 74? Are we really that close? Or are we missing another zone? I don't know if 74, but right here, guys, again, we have 72, 3, and 4. So a couple more chapters. 75. 75, I think was the new patch. Am I London? Is that right? I think 75 is coming with the new patch that was already announced. Just waiting to see that. As a free-to-play player, I don't think I'm ever going to get to chapter 71. So interesting enough, Lord, is every time that a player finishes content within AFK Arena, they have, I think they called it a dynamic campaign progression. Every player that goes through and completes stages makes it easier for future players. It's pretty cool with the dynamic campaign, essentially how it works. It does make it easier for everyone else that is coming behind you to make progression. So it's pretty cool. They announced that years ago. I'm assuming it's still in effect. Now for me, I have to farm some towers. I have neglected for a crazy amount of time the King's Tower. I believe the maximum floor is like 2,500, 2,550, 2,600, somewhere around there. I believe the King's Tower still has a very high cap that I have not pushed at all in, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, thank you, Wales. Exactly. Yeah, as you're going in there, like I said, you will make progression and you will make campaign formations easier. We're already on 1020. So going in here, I just go in and I find someone who's roughly around 1020, which right here is 1032. Good enough for that. I'm going to go ahead and auto battle this, and I'm just literally going to let this run. I came back last time, so I let this run. It's on my PC. I went ahead and I let this run. I came back and I was like 140 floors completed within here. So again, I'm literally just going to let this run. I got a couple things to run out, got some shopping to do, get the kids from school in just a couple hours, and I'm going to let it run and see exactly where we do land when it comes to the King's Tower. We're on 1866. We are so far over leveled right now to make progression in here. Again, I'm just going to sit. I'm going to let it run. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's stream. Again, wanted to hop on, wanted to share. So happy that we are into 71. We did get Lios built as well. We got the engraving on there. We got the signature items on there. Just got to get some furniture for him so we can actually use them and go through a couple other places, making sure that we can continue to make progression. So guys, again, that is going to do it for today's stream. Thank you guys for joining me for the very last live stream. Came super late. Yeah, I think we've been about an hour. I think I can look over at the other one. I believe we're right about an hour that we've been streaming. Yep, an hour and 2 minutes. Look at that. Spot on with the time. Wait, so I can push more? Yeah, you can keep pushing. Definitely keep pushing progression, guys. It gives you a ton of resources. Going through any of the content you can is going to reward you with more resources. More resources mean you can build up your heroes even higher to make more progression in its entirety. So again, guys, that is going to do it for the stream. Thank you guys for joining me. And as always, thank you guys for watching.